My name is C.Partipilo, and today I will be doing a video demonstration for my ethical hacking class at Florida International University, taught by Dr. Alexander Pons. I'll be talking about credential harvesting using Subterfuge, which is a self-contained man-in-the-middle utility that uses ARP poisoning in order to reroute network traffic to the hacking machine. Does that in order to analyze the traffic and capture usernames and passwords that it sees on the data stream. Subterfuge takes advantage of the fact that Ethernet protocol data is vulnerable to spoofing, and once the attacker is within the network boundaries, it is fairly easy to gather network traffic by poisoning the ARP tables in some of the devices within the network. I'll be talking about the ARP protocol. I'll also be showing a demonstration on how the tool works and how to configure it, as well as some of the other features that the tool does, like cross-site scripting and payload injection into browsers, etc., things like that. It is a very nice tool, especially because it is self-contained, and one single tool does everything that this attack needs. You don't need to be installing multiple tools or things like ettercaps and other sniffers in order to do this. Subterfuge does everything on its own. I'll also be comparing the other type of ARP poisoning attack, like ettercap, and how it works, etc., how you set it up. But I really like Subterfuge better because the developers included features to reduce the possibility of the attack being detected by sending less ARP packets and sending them more randomized. So the packets looks like normal network traffic to IDS that might be installed within the network. Obviously, this video is for educational purposes only. You're not supposed to use any of this information to compromise any network where you have not been given permission. Doing so may be illegal and may get you in trouble, so please keep that in mind. So let's go and take a look at Subterfuge. I'll show you what I found. Okay, so here we have our Kali Linux machine. In order to install Subterfuge, you need to go to their GitHub page, which is, you can see the address here. The easiest way to install it will be to follow these directions, which clone the HIP directory, the Git directory into Linux, Kali Linux machine, and allows you to install it, easier. So that's what I did, and install without any problems. So in order to run it, we'll go ahead and just type Subterfuge here, and that starts the server. Subterfuge uses a web interface, so it's running on the back end, and it uses the browser in order to display the data and create, and do the user interface. So now we see that the server is running. We can see that it's running at that address, so we can go into our browser and just add that address there, and we'll see the interface coming up. I'm gonna get rid of this so it doesn't bother us. So this is our main interface for Subterfuge. I'm gonna go through some of the settings. You can go into the settings screen. Being a web, I have noticed that being a web interface is a little slower than other applications, so sometimes you have to be patient while it sends the information up. It could also be my virtual environment slowing things down. I don't know how fast it can make it run if I run it directly on hardware. So here we can see our gateway address. It automatically searches for it. It actually has a dual method of searching for it. In this case, we can see that both addresses are the same, so we just leave that there. If we had multiple Ethernet interfaces, we will see them here. Since this machine only has one, that's what it is. You can also set the gateway manually if what it captured was different, or if you wanted to use a different gateway. Here we can see the proxy mode, so it's using SSL strip, which working as a proxy, which Subterfuge does in order to route web traffic. On every request going out, it removes the request for SSL strip for SSL connections, and then on the returns, it removes all the links that have SSL strings, or HTTPS strings, I should say, get removed. So any links that will have been originally HTTPS links are now HTTP. That's very neat, because it saves a lot of time and issues. Because with Subterfuge, if you were to type manually, and I will be showing this, the address which the HTTPS, the attack will work, because the data going through Subterfuge is going to be encrypted. I'll show more of that when we get to that part. Here are some of the vectors that he uses. I'm not going to go too much into detail for the sake of keeping the video short. These are some of the refresh rates, and I mentioned this in the intro, where you can set how fast you want the ARP packets to go. I have set it to 15 seconds. I've been playing with these settings for a while, and so far it's been working fine. It also has dynamic retention, because ARP attacks sometimes lose their effectiveness. The ARP tables in some devices refresh itself and don't get new packages sent. So Subterfuge takes care of that by sending dynamic packages to keep the ARP exploit going. Keep the traffic from the machines that we want going through the proxy in Subterfuge. Okay, so let's go back to the main screen here. I also, besides this Linux, Kali Linux box, I have 2 other machines running. I have this Windows 8 machine running, and I also have a Windows XP machine running. You can see there. For the time being, we're going to concentrate on looking at this Kali Linux. So just to show the simplicity and how easy it is to hack a network using ARP poisoning, all you have to do, once you have Subterfuge installed and set up in your machine, all you have to do is open it up, come here, and click Start. So you get a warning message, and it's initiating. All right, so we'll see here Subterfuge attack initializing. It's starting the ARP poisoning attack, and currently in this computer I have in this network I have those 3 machines that I showed, the Kali Linux machine and 2 Windows machines. So one of the things that we can see is that here this message poisoning the entire subnet. Subterfuge has already identified that it already poisoned all the machines in the subnet. So if I do an ifconfig, I can see that the MAC address of the Kali machine ends in ED99. If I do a transition to our Windows 8 machine, all right, so we can do the command ARP-A. That shows us what the ARP table of this machine is, and we can see that the gateway address that the Windows machine sees is the same MAC address of the Kali machine. So we know that the ARP spoofing is already working by confirming that. I'm going to minimize that. All right, so now I'm going to show the neatest thing about this. Let's say we want to capture some passwords for some sites. So while this is running, when you're running these on a whole entire network with hundreds of users, all the traffic is going to be going through your Kali machine, and Subterfuge is going to be scanning all the traffic going on. So all the users trying to go to websites may get their passwords intercepted. So let's try one easy that is very common. So let's go with Amazon. Let's see what happens. All right, so we can see that the website loaded normally. The first thing that we can notice to see the Subterfuge working is that this site is not private. So Subterfuge already stripped the HTTPS from this connection, and now it's running on a simple HTTP connection, which is easy to scan traffic wise. So let's see if I go into orders. All right, we can also see in the Kali machine, we can see that we have some sessions here. These are all the sessions happening in the from the Amazon machine. All right, so let's go back to the Windows machine, and I'm going to do Amazon user at outlook.com. I'm going to put a password, fake password, and submit. Now we notice that some things in this site, like some of the graphics, don't show up. For some users, that may be obvious, but for others, they'll go ahead and put it in. So now we go back to the Kali machine, and we see that it just that credential just showed up right here. So we can see that it's in plain view. The username, the password that I entered, is clean. Now you may say, well, most people is going to realize that Amazon machine, that Amazon website had something wrong, and they may get out. I agree. So let's try something else. Let's go back to the Windows machine. Let's try common business use site. So let's see UPS. Let's see how it looks once the traffic has gone through. So select the United States. All right, we see that there was a new. I'm going to move this machine here. I'm going to move the Windows machine here. So you see I'm not faking anything. I'm just using two screens in my computer. So yeah, I'm going to move this guy a little bit. All right. Let's go my UPS, log in. All right, user ID, UPS, fake, user. And for password, I'm going to do fake UPS pass. Hopefully I typed it right. And login. You can notice everything is normal on the UPS site. You don't see anything awkward. You don't see anything out of sight. You do notice that there's no HTTPS here. But other than that, the site looks normal, and there's nothing obvious. And you can see that that credential also just showed up. UPS fake user, fake UPS pass. So you can imagine when you have hundreds of users using different services, business services, private services, emails, etc., that you can use. Let's go to another website let me think on something that a business may use. Phone service. So let's see. Let's use Bonish. I know in my office I use some Bonish accounts. So again, we can notice the HTTPS has been stripped out, and only the HTTP connection is running. One of the things that I have noticed is that the HTTP response is slow. As I mentioned, the Kali machine is very limited because it's running in a virtual environment, and I'm running multiple machines in it. So sometimes I notice this delay in the page. The page is loading. Let's try something else. It seems like that Bonish site is not Oh, okay. So we decided to log in. So let's see, where's the login page here? There's gotta be a login somewhere. Well, one thing you notice, again, as I mentioned, your connection is not private, so no HTTPS running there. And here it is, sign in. It seems to be, this may not work because it seems to be a flash login screen, so it depends on what the post is. The post command sends. Subterfuge may catch it or not. I have noticed on some sites it doesn't catch it. So I'm going to use a fake bonus user and fake on pass. Hopefully it will work. See, and obviously I'm using fake information to just bounce to these websites, and obviously we're gonna get a bad site. But if we were using the right username, the site will log in. And I showed you because I have one password that I'm gonna put in and allow the whole website to log in. So you can see that if the password was fine, it will log in and it will be completely transparent to the user. So we just saw that, you know, securedevonus.com, fake bonus user, fake bonus pass. Let me see. Let's go for a bigger. Let's go for a bigger target. Let's go for Bank of America. Uh, you see here too many redirections because it's Chrome. The newest versions of Chrome are developed, and they in order to track these kinds of attacks, the browser can detect that the website has been redirected, and it shows that. But because of the way that Subterfuge works, it reloads the page and it comes back. Sometimes I have to hit the reload button, but most of the time the browser itself will reload. So let's go for fake BOA user. Let's see what we get. Fake uh, fake BOA. That's what I put in as the password. So let's see. Obviously, it's not going to work. I highly doubt somebody has that username and password. Another thing I did notice is that some passwords fail to show on Subterfuge for some services. This is one sample. Bank of America. You see that it captured the information, but it didn't give us the username. I used fake BOA as the username, and I used fake BOA pass as the password. So it captured the string. It gave me the username in the password field, and this is probably some information that Bank of America is passing through on the same post request. So it's not perfect, but it may give you some information. At least you can get part of the ID, and you can use another method to get the rest of the credential. Sometimes I have noticed that on the second attempt, fake BOA user. Let's see, fake BOA pass. Let's see. Sometimes the code on the main screen is not clear, so Subterfuge doesn't capture it. But when you retry to enter the password, sometimes it comes up. It really depends on the code and all the post communication that is going from the browser to the web server through Subterfuge. So let's see, nothing came up there. Yeah, it just failed. Let's try another bank. Let's go Chase. I actually remember what the chase I think is. chaseonline.chase.com is the login page. If you go chase.com, you got, see again, we got the too many redirects. So that's the Chase login page. If you do chase.com, it goes through a informational site, and then you click login, it sends you here. So let's do fake Chase user and fake Chase pass and login. And now on some sites, you see these. Oh, here, let's go back a little bit, and you can see here on the second attempt for Bank of America. You notice the first attempt we got, from the main site, we got the username wrong because this is some kind of ID from the site, and the username as the password. Now on the second attempt site, we got the password as the username and the username as the password. That's just depending on how the site is configured. It could be done on purpose in order to trick some sniffing tools. It really depends on the developer and what they try to accomplish. But you got both information. So whenever you get something here, you can also, if it doesn't work the first time, try reversing it. Sometimes it may work. Hopefully you have learned something out of this video. This is really neat technology. All the things that you can do when you know the right tools to use and the right information. So thank you for watching, and have a